Isn't it possible that it went down like that? Agent Lang, were you paying attention to what Miss Pops was saying? Then again, I suppose I can't expect someone who has never set foot in court to catch it. Ooh, what a savage bird! My god! Poor Lang, his feet must be on fire! Hello everyone, this is Boricua Binks and welcome back to Let's Play Ace Attorney Investigations, Miles Edgeworth. We are continuing on in the third case, the Kidnap Turnabout. Alright, asking for a motive. Do you honestly think that an upright, pure boy like him would hatch up a completely pointless scheme such as kidnapping himself? Objection! Had to have a dramatic pause there. This proves that Lance did indeed have a motive to commit this crime. Which is dumb because he could have just asked his father for money. Take that! Unless he's done that before and Daddy said no more. To put it simply, Lance has a very urgent need for money. This is hardly your typical love letter. It is in fact a collections bill. It appears our upstanding boy has accumulated quite a debt. Isn't that right, Lance? Ugh.
Looks like it's hard being the son of a rich man, too. It must be rough when you have to resort to stealing from your own old man, huh?
Yeah. Alright. I give up. I abducted myself.
Lance!
Dramatic. He's so stupid. I'll punch him. It's over, Lolly. In this life, we really are bound to our fates after all. All I wanted was to go with you to a new town, somewhere where no one would know us. I wanted us to be well off with that $1 million, but now, that dream is over.
Oh, Lance!
Then you are giving yourself up? Yes, I had planned to run away from this world with my Lolly. Oliver even helped us with the plan, but then he had to go and stab us in the back. He turned on you. Maybe he didn't want to split the ransom money, that's my guess. That happened almost right after you made the drop-off. When we were alone, he attacked me all of a sudden. After a brief struggle, I was able to contain him and keep him under control. We left him inside that room as Lolly and I made our escape. We wore different costumes and split up. Lolly left first in the blue badge costume. That would mean the person Officer Meakin saw was Miss Pops. Right then, the old man just had to wake up. I was careless and he tackled me pretty hard from behind. Then Oliver put on a bad badge costume, took the suitcase with $1 million and ran. I contacted Lolly right away and warned her that he had a gun. They had no idea that they were related, so I thought that it could only end badly.
I still don't believe it. That person was not my father. Because if he was, I just killed my own father.
Oof. That's something poor Edgeworth can relate to, having that thought. Lolly, then it really was you. Yikes. Chain of events.
That man was not my father. I mean, because at the stadium, there was a bad badger pulling the suitcase with the $1 million in it. But that badger pointed his gun at me, aiming to shoot me dead. That's why I used the gun I got from Lance. There was a gunshot, The other person crumpled to the ground, and I ran, scared for my life.
Yikes. But you said at the stadium, huh? So that's what Old Bag witnessed. I think the big picture is finally coming into focus, don't you? Lily, forgive me. I didn't think you would turn into something so frightening. If only I could have protected you.
So, Miss Pops, she shot her own dad without even knowing who he really was?
If what she says is true.
Are you saying she's lying? But why would she lie about something like that? What purpose would it serve?
You would be surprised how often people lie without even realizing it themselves, Kay.
Huh? What's that supposed to mean?
What I mean is, listen very carefully to her confession once more, and you'll see. Alrighty. Alright. Her father. At the stadium, there was a bad badger pulling suitcase with $1 million. He was aiming to shoot me dead. Let's press a little. Were you able to clearly see the gun?
Yes, I got a very good look at it while it was pointed at me. Oh, Father, why would you try to shoot me?
Do you really think a father would shoot his own daughter, Mr. Edgeworth? I don't know.
I don't want to believe it myself. But it's true. My father's left arm was raised with a gun in it. Pointed straight at me. I'm about to die, I thought.
Miss Pops.
Huh?
Please calm down and take a deep breath. And then would you allow me to please hear that last statement one more time?
Yes, of course. But that badger pointed the gun in his left hand at me, aiming to shoot me dead.
Left hand, you say? How convenient. Because I have something that contradicts that.
Objection!
Tisk tisk. I have here a dossier on your father. And according to this, your father was right-handed. Thank goodness the dossier included that.
Then...
The person pointing a gun at you from atop the stage was not Mr. Deacon. Hold on there, Mr. Prosecutor. I think you need to take a refresher course. The bad badger has a model gun attached to his right hand, which is why the only hand he could have held the real gun with was his left. Isn't it possible that it went down like that? Agent Lang, were you paying attention to what Miss Pops was saying? Then again, I suppose I can't expect someone who has never set foot in court to catch it. Oh, what a savage bird! My God! Poor Lang, his feet must be on fire! Enough with the smugness. Out with it already. He was already sweating like he really was above the flames, you know? Miss Pops told us earlier.
The bad badger pulling the suitcase with the $1 million in it.
According to you, the bad badger had the gun in his left hand, which would mean that he was pulling the suitcase with his right hand. Is that correct, Miss Pops?
Yes, exactly. And I'm sure it was the bad badger. It had those huge sunglasses on its face.
But if that's the case, even I can see there is a huge contradiction. You just burned yourself. Even I can see. Oh, Lang. You poor man. Yes. Miss Pops claims to have seen the bad badger. And yet the bad badger had both of his hands full. These two pieces of information contradict each other, so one must be wrong. It's because it wasn't the bad badger? No, I think... Okay, I think I had to say it's both. It's kind of confusing. You'll see why I'm confused in a minute. Miss Pops, what you saw was not the Bad Badger. Think back and recall which character was it that leveled a gun at you.
But it was wearing a pair of sunglasses and it had that strange blue beard. That sums up the Bad Badger pretty well, I'd say.
Too bad for you, but it looks like the Bad Badger wasn't the mistake here. Ugh.
Alright. Need to think carefully about the facts here. Claims to have seen the Bad Badger, and yet the Bad Badger had both of his hands full with something or another. Alright. Those both are correct. They are both correct.
Impossible. That just leaves us with an irresolvable contradiction.
Miss Pops's entire statement rests on the fact that she saw his sunglasses and beard. But what if that Bad Badger wasn't wearing pants on his lower half? He's walking around naked! How dare he! This proves that there was a way for the Bad Badger to freely use both of his hands. Now, the reason I said it wasn't the Bad Badger, it's kind of like, how do you say what constitutes the Bad Badger? Is it just the head? Or is it the head and the body? So that's why I was like, well, missing model gun. Victim's costume? Oh, I guess we don't have the one that was in the garbage? No? Maybe it's this. Yeah. I thought we had the evidence of the Bad Badger costume in the trash, but oh well. The costumes have two parts to them, a head and the body.
Oh, I get it now.
The head Miss Pops saw was probably really the head of the Bad Badger. However, is it not possible that the body was that of an entirely different badger?
A different badger.
Sweats more. Yes, or to put it more bluntly, I believe it was the lower half of this badger. The body of the Bad Badger Miss Pops saw really belonged to this badger. I'm gonna say it was... She was wearing a blue badger outfit. Or is it the proto... Oh god. Who's wearing the proto badger outfit? I think she would have realized it was the blue badger if she saw the straps, right? Because they found the blue badger costume. No, that was Lauren's. So she was wearing the blue badger. That on there. Maybe it's the proto badger. I don't know.
Take that!
Paralysis demon! What the heck is it?
It's the proto badger. Yes, and it's a simple matter of process of elimination. Yeah, that's what I was figuring. Miss Pops is wearing the blue badger's costume, so we can eliminate that one. And the pink badger is of the wrong color, which would have been incredibly obvious. All that is left is the proto badger costume. Miss Pops, who was the one who wore the proto badger costume?
That would be Lance.
Of course he would pick the creepy one.
Ugh. Are you saying what I think you are? That Lance Amano downed the Bad Badger's head and pretended to be Mr. Deacon. On top of which he plotted to shoot Miss Pops while wearing that hideous thing?
The stage that was set up in the stadium was nothing more than that. A setup. and its purpose was to lead Miss Popes into believing she had committed murder. Standing there in front of Miss Popes and pretending to be the victim. It was all done so that she would pull the trigger. I have no idea. I have no idea what you're talking about. Why exactly would I have had to do all that, huh? There's but one reason, Lance Amano. You are the real culprit behind the murder of Mr. Oliver Deacon. What?
No!
That's slander. Take it back. You take it back right now.
Just out of curiosity, Lance, which is your dominant hand?
I'm left-handed. But what does that have to do with anything?
It depends. According to Miss Popes, our attacker held a gun in his left hand.
Ha! Who is what-handed doesn't prove a thing. Besides, now you're just being absurd. It's not like the Proto-Badger is bulletproof. One misfire and he would have found himself dead, right?
Of course, logically, if he had been shot, he probably wouldn't be here with us. But I believe he had thought of that as well, and prepared accordingly. And this should be all the evidence you need. This is how Lance made sure that he wouldn't be hit by a bullet. This. We found one half of a Bad Badger costume in the hideout, a broken one. It was not the same one that the victim was wearing, plus it was missing something. And that something is the model gun that the Bad Badger carries, which can fire blanks.
What?
Yes, it fires blanks just like your... You know what? Never mind. I'm not gonna go there. But of course my brain went there already. Miss Popes, where is the gun you used now?
I threw it away into the sea.
That makes it a bit tough to verify what it was. Although I believe that we can safely assume that it was the model gun in question.
I've heard enough. All you've been spouting so far is pure conjecture.
I admit that as long as the model gun is lost to us, I can't prove I'm right. However, I can't say that the probability that I am right is very high.
Okay, let's pretend that you're right, and that the murder at the stadium was a fabrication. In that case, where do you think the murder really took place, Mr. Prosecutor?
I don't know yet.
Ha! I knew you were full of it.
However, I do believe that the murder took place during an earlier time frame.
Please, wait a second. It's simply not possible. Because I saw Mr. Deacon after he was restrained by Lance.
She saw the victim in the state of being restrained. Huh? This is new info? What Miss Pop saw.
I came back to the hideout long after the other two. By that time, Lance had already subdued and restrained Mr. Deacon. He had tied Mr. Deacon securely to the beam in the room next door.
Wait a minute.
After that, the two of us put on our costumes and made our escape.
Lauren does not know who she's talking to.
So, Mr. Deacon must have escaped after the two of you left, right?
We thought that it'd attract too much attention if we left together, so I left first. We planned to meet up again at the stage in the stadium. But then, as I was walking through the park, I got a call from Lance on my cell phone.
Oliver managed to escape. It looked like he was waiting until I was alone. He also stole the gun from me at that time. And then the murder happened. Mr. Deacon must have overheard their plan to meet up at the stage. Well, Mr. Prosecutor, Miss Pops saw the victim with her own eyes, which means that the victim was still alive at that time. Wouldn't you agree?
Why does that sound wrong to me? There must be something amiss about this account. Let's see what happens when I examine it in more detail. Come on now, game. Edgeworth would clearly be like, wait a second. I was in the room next to you, so, Do we have evidence of that? Or do I just press it? I think I just press it because I don't have evidence.
Hold it!
Do I? You are sure that it was Mr. Deacon that you saw?
Yes, I'm certain of what I saw.
Did you go into the other room to check?
Lance said that it was best if I didn't get too close to him. Lance, he's such a kind soul.
Oh, sure. A kind soul who wants to steal from his father.
Then,
Gosh. Stop it, Lang.
then are you telling me that you did not confirm that it was Mr. Deacon for yourself?
I checked through the slit in the door that separates the two rooms. He had a bad badger's head on, so I'm absolutely sure. That just had to be Mr. Deacon.
She saw a bad badger head. Ah, that's the evidence. Okay. Captive had
a bad badger's head on, so I'm absolutely sure it was Mr. Deacon.
Alright, well, this was originally on Edgeworth, so... Or in his room, so...
Miss Pops, the person you saw was not Mr. Deacon at all.
Huh?
The person you actually saw was this person.
The K. Faraday! Lance Amano! No, it's Miles Edgeworth.
It was me.
Huh? The person I saw was you, Mr. Edgeworth? No wonder I felt so thirsty.
I always thought it was a bit odd. Why would the kidnappers abduct me, even after I had handed over the ransom?
Ah, sweating.
It's not as though I saw the face of the kidnappers. If I were them, I would have just taken the $1 million and ran. But in the end, there was a point to it all. It was to make me look like Mr. Deacon. And if that was the reason for which I was abducted, then I believe we can assume that the victim was already dead at that time. Well, Lance, am I right?
This.
You showed Miss Pops a person, namely me, with a bad badger's head on, and then made your costumed escape together. Oh, so you pretended.
Huh? What do you mean he pretended?
Just like he does every night in bed.
What?
Sorry.
Exactly that. I believe Lance watched you escape, and then doubled back to the hideout. Probably to come and remove the bad badger head from my unconscious self. And to create his fake prison with the prop sword. He then escaped via the passageway.
Hold your tongue, boy. Boy? Boy? Wait a minute. How old are you, Lang? Aren't you about the same age as me? As Edgeworth? I'll smack you, fool.
Don't get caught up in that tidal wave of words coming out of Mr. Prosecutor's mouth.
Oh! He was telling that to Lance.
Hold your tongue, boy.
Shoot, man. Oh, okay. Well, that's different. But still, don't interfere, Lang. Shut the F up, man.
Tidal wave? We've heard a lot come out of you, but I've yet to see a shred of evidence. The victim's betrayal and his subsequent detainment. All of that could have happened while you were out cold. That's right. You were out for quite a while, Miss Prosecutor. Even if that were the case, Miss Pops would have still seen me tied to that beam.
I was scared of Mr. Deacon, so I didn't go into the next room. So I really have no idea if you were in there or not, Mr. Edgeworth.
You see, it would seem that you can't prove a thing.
Ugh. Oh, hold it.
Who said that?
Well, we'll find that out in the next episode. Thank you guys so very much for watching. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this, and until next time, have a nice day.